Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories and our championship match of our postseason tournament as the Blue Valley Tigers, coached by Catherine Witten, are taking on the Shawnee Mission East Lancers, coached by Nate Southwick. Let's go ahead and meet our contestants. First from Blue Valley.
Hi, I'm Avril, and my nickname is Avi.
Hi, I'm Vince Orozco, and I'm also known as Vinny No Knuckles.
Hi, I'm Kevin, and I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Joshua, and I'm the Chinese one.
Hi, I'm Nikhil, and I'm a sophomore.
And our contestants from Shawnee Mission East.
Hi, I'm Stuart the Man Hansen.
I'm Ian, go by 5 Teddy, and I'm a junior.
I'm Nat, like the insect, and I'm a senior.
I'm Brian, a senior.
I'm Charlie, a freshman.
All right, fantastic. We won't discuss the nickname that I was given earlier. All right, it was John the Torso Bartell. All right, there we go. As we head into our first round here on Categories of our championship game, it is played like our regular season and other playoff games in which each team will get a chance to answer questions. If a team responds correctly, they earn a point for their squad. If they answer incorrectly, the other team gets a chance to steal the category. We did a coin toss before we started recording, and it was won by the Tigers of Blue Valley, so here is the first category. It is Science Anatomy. Give the common term for what we call places found at various points on the body where arteries can be held against a bone. Vince?
Joints.
Cannot accept joints. Lancers, chance to steal this science and anatomy question. Give the common term for what we call the places found at various points on the body where arteries can be held against a bone. Brian?
Pressure points.
It's a pressure point, yes. Staying with you, Lancers, government is the category. What is the name of the concept which divides power amongst several branches? Stuart?
Separations of powers.
Separations of power, very good. Back to you, Tigers. Literary terms is the category. What term refers to shortened versions of a work which attempts to present the elements of the longer work? Vince?
Abridged.
Abridged, very good. East. Next category is musicals. Which famous musical features the song Time Warp? Nat.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. Tigers, you have a chance to steal this vocabulary. You actually get the category. You don't have to steal it. I'm giving it to you. Vocabulary is the category. Electra, Oedipus, and military industrial are all adjectives which can modify what word? Kevin?
Complex.
Complex, very good. Back to you, Lancers. General knowledge, apparel. A flat, round hat with a tight headband, usually associated with the French, is called a what? Ian?
Beret.
A beret. Tigers, musical composers is your category. Multiple choice. Of Beethoven, Donizetti, Verdi, and Wagner, who wrote the fewest operas? Overall.
Beethoven?
Beethoven, very good. Lancers, current events is your category. Former coal lobbyist Andrew Wheeler was recently confirmed as the new head, Stuart?
EPA.
Of the EPA. Tigers, geography, mountain ranges. Mountain ranges is the category. What is Mexico's chief mountain system? Overall?
The Occidental Range.
Cannot accept that. Lancers, chance to steal this geography, specifically mountain ranges question. What is Mexico's chief mountain system? Ian?
Sierra Madre.
Sierra Madre. Lancers, staying with you with literature. What dark realm did the Lord of the Rings call home? Brian?
Mordor.
Mordor. Back to you, Tigers. Mathematics is the category. Convert pi over 4 radians to degrees. Nikhil?
45 degrees.
45 degrees. Shawnee Mission East, World Geography is your category. A small country in the Pyrenees Mountains has a population of about 9. Ian?
Andorra.
Andorra. Back to you, Tigers, sports and games. With which sport is the Davis Cup associated? Kevin?
Tennis.
It is tennis. East, science, chemistry. A slender glass tube into which fluid is taken up by suction, used especially for measuring or transferring. What do we call this item found in a chemistry lab? Nat?
Pipette.
It is a pipette. Back to you, Tigers, government and economics. How old must a person be to run for president of the United States? Joshua?
35.
It is 35. Back to you, Lancers, sports and games. How many games are played by each team in a Major League Baseball regular season? Charlie?
162.
162. Back to you, Tigers, current events. Hostilities recently broke out between India and Pakistan because of bombing that took place in which disputed region? Everall?
Kashmir.
Kashmir. East, mathematics is your category. If a parallelogram has one angle measuring 120 degrees, what are the measures of the other 3 angles? Ian?
One is 120 and the other 2 are both 60.
That is correct. Back to you, Tigers, U.S. history. Early American industry was based on which of the following? Electricity, windmills, steam engine, or water power? Everall?
Water power.
Water power. Back to you, Lancers. Vocabulary is the category. What's the term for various Scottish clan designs featured on shirts, ties, as well as kilts? Nat?
Tartan.
Tartan. Tigers, back to you. General information. What are crayons made of? Kevin?
Wax.
Wax. Back to you, Lancers. U.S. history. Who was the Attorney General of President Kennedy's administration? Ian?
Wasn't this his brother Robert?
It is brother Robert. Very good. Tigers, back to you. U.S. geography. Most of the United States has been divided by a system of land survey in which square 6 miles on a side forms a basic unit. What is this unit called? Everall?
An acre.
It is not an acre. Lancers, chance to steal this U.S. geography question. Most of the United States has been divided by a system of land survey in which a square 6 miles on a side forms a basic unit. This unit is called a what? Ian?
Township.
It is called a township. Very good. East, staying with you, philosophy is the question. In which circle of hell does Dante place Plato, Aristotle, and other pagan philosophers? Ian?
Limbo.
In limbo. Tigers, back to you, vocabulary. The building where locomotives are stored, cleaned, and repaired is called a what? Everall?
A garage.
Cannot accept a garage. Lancers, you have a chance to steal this vocabulary question. The building where locomotives are stored, cleaned, and repaired is called a what? Brian?
Rail yard.
It's not a rail yard, it's a roundhouse. A roundhouse. Lancers, you do get the next category. It is multiple choice and it is general knowledge. The Morse code uses dots and dashes in various combinations, which stand for words, individual letters. Brian?
Letters.
Letters, very good. Tigers, back to you. World history is your category. Who patterned the Italian flag after that of his native France, changing the blue to green, his favorite color? Time. Lancers, chance to steal this world history question. Who patterned the Italian flag after that of his native France, changing the blue to green, his favorite color? Ian?
Victor Emmanuel.
It's actually Napoleon. Napoleon. Lancers, we are staying with you. Fine arts paintings is the category. Though the notoriously plucky artist Salvador Dali sought to never explain his own work, He has said that the idea of his iconic melting clocks came from chunks of camembert cheese he observed melting in the sun. Although he may have been joking. Name this painting. Charlie?
The persistence of memory.
Persistence of memory, very good. Tigers, back to you. Science and technology is the category. With the continuing development of high-speed computers, it has become very common to represent or imitate a particular situation, operation, or system by a computer. What is the standard term for such an imitation? Joshua?
Simulation.
A simulation. Lancers, back to you. U.S. geography. The lowest point in the state of Michigan is on the shore of which of the Great Lakes? Ian?
Huron.
It's not Huron. Tigers, chance to steal this U.S. geography question. The lowest point in the state of Michigan is on the shore of which of the Great Lakes? Kevin?
Lake Michigan.
It's not Michigan. It's Lake Erie. Lake Erie. Staying with you, Tigers, ancient history is the category. Chephren, one of the pharaohs buried in the Pyramid of Giza, also served as a model for what famous statue? Time. Lancers, chance to steal this ancient history question. Chephren, one of the pharaohs buried in the pyramid at Giza, also served as the model for what famous statue? Nat.
The Sphinx.
The Great Sphinx, very good. Lancers, staying with you, vocabulary is the category. What is the past tense of the verb to shoe? Shoe being S-H-O-E. Nat?
Shooed.
Cannot accept shooed. Tigers, chance to steal this vocabulary question. What is the past tense of the verb to shoe? S-H-O-E. Overall?
Shoe.
It is not shoe. Shod. Shod. Tigers, you do get the next question. It is mathematics. What is the slope of the equation y equals negative 2x plus 3? Overall?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Lancers, coming back to you. Shakespeare is the category. There were a total of 8 conspirators in which of Shakespeare's dramas? Nat?
Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar. Back to you, Tigers. Science, chemistry. Suppose you are discussing the periodic table of the elements with your chemistry teacher, and they're talking about the Z of a particular element. What is the Z of an element? Joshua?
The atomic number plus the number of neutrons.
We'll accept that, yes. Lancers, coming back to you. Government and economics. Which amendment prohibits any U.S. citizen from being denied the right to vote based on sex? Stuart?
The 14th? Nope.
Not accept the 14th. Tigers, chance to steal this category before we go into halftime. Government and economics is the category. Which amendment prohibits any U.S. citizen from being denied the right to vote based on sex? Everall?
The 19th Amendment.
It is the 19th Amendment. And with that correct response, you've narrowed the gap a bit here, but Shawnee Mission East has a little bit of a lead here with 19 to Blue Valley 13. As we normally do at this part, we have a campus update, but since it is the playoffs, we are going to go right into our tournament graphic, and both teams have earned their way into this championship game. Blue Valley has defeated Shawnee Mission West in our first round, and Shawnee Mission East defeated Blue Valley West to make it to our championship game. And so well played by both teams during the regular season and during the tournament. As we begin our second round, which is the lightning round, we will begin with our look and listen question, which is worth 2 points. We have a monitor to display to our contestants in the studio, and we will display it for you who are watching and playing at home. This was a reminder, once someone rings in, we will stop tape and let the person answer the question. And so here we go with our 2-point look and listen question. Name this seat of the Archdiocese of Paris. Nat.
Notre Dame Cathedral.
It is Notre Dame. Very good. 2 points to Shawnee Mission East. As we continue with our lightning round, questions will be placed on the floor for either team to answer. Just like in the first round, if a team responds correctly, they will earn a point. If they miss the question, then the other team will get a chance to steal. Here we go. Both teams, music is the category. Which Beatles album is named after a London street? Nat.
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road. General knowledge for both teams. Name the blind Benedictine monk who invented champagne. Nat?
Mr. Champagne.
It is not Mr. Champagne. Tigers, chance to steal this general knowledge question. Name the blind Benedictine monk who invented champagne.
St. Augustine.
It's not St. Augustine. Dom Perignon. Dom Perignon. I knew I was going to get that reaction. All right. European history for both teams. What country did Mata Hari spy for in World War I? Kevin?
England.
It's not England. Lancers, chance to steal this European history question. What country did Mata Hari spy for during World War I? Ian?
India?
Germany.
Oh.
Germany. Vocabulary for both teams. This deep ditch of water that usually surrounds a castle is called, Nat?
Moat.
It's a moat. Sports and games for both teams. Some relay races rely on teammates tagging the next racer, but in track and field, each team has a special tube that is, Nat?
Baton.
It is a baton. World geography for both teams. Which of these cities is out of place in the list? Tokyo, Melbourne, Rio de Janeiro, Montreal, New York. Joshua?
Montreal.
Sorry, that's incorrect. Lancers, chance to steal. Ian?
Tokyo. It's a capital.
It's the only one that's the nation's capital. Very good. Both teams, U.S. geography this time, landmarks. This group of 92 historical buildings and landmarks, including Thomas Edison's laboratory, was collected and restored by Henry Ford. What's the name of this site that is located in Dearborn, Michigan? Everall?
Ford Park.
It's not Ford Park. Lancers, chance to steal this U.S. geography and landmarks question. This group of 92 historical buildings and landmarks, including Thomas Edison's laboratory, was collected and restored by Henry Ford. What's the name of this site that is located in Dearborn, Michigan? Nat?
Ford Avenue.
Not Ford Avenue. Greenfield Village. Greenfield Village. Science for both teams. When a nail rusts, the chemical reaction that takes place is called, Nat?
Oxidation.
Oxidation. Okay, we're at the time in our second round, which we are going to do our team theme huddle. Our team theme huddle is where teams are allowed to collaborate on the answers to 2 questions and must be responded by the team captain. When someone rings in, I will stop reading the questions. Also, both answers must be correct in order to earn 2 points. If both are not correct, the other team will get a chance to steal. The category is the auto industry. Question 1. Name 3 of the 4 current domestic car brands run by General Motors. Question 2. Name the car company in efforts to reduce costs recently announced all orders and purchases of their vehicles will move to online. Joshua?
Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, and for the second part, Tesla.
That is correct. Both are correct. The missing one was GMC. GMC would be the other one. And 2 points awarded to Blue Valley. Both teams, the next category in the lightning round is literary terms. An author gives a detailed description of these items: the setting, dialect, dress, climate, manners, and customs. This technique of representation is called local what? Ian?
Exposition.
Cannot accept that. Tigers, chance to steal this literary term. Category. An author gives a detailed description of these items: the setting, dialect, dress, climate, manners, and customs. This technique of representation is called local what? Joshua?
World building?
Cannot accept that. Local color. Local color is what they call it. Current events for both teams. Just weeks before an election, the Attorney General of which Middle Eastern country? Avril?
Israel.
Israel. World geography for both teams. Name either of the two countries surrounding El Salvador. Ian?
Honduras.
Honduras, the other being Guatemala. Mathematics for both teams. The first time a digit repeats 6 times in a succession in this... Joshua?
Feynman point.
Cannot accept that. Lancers, chance to steal this mathematics question. The first time a digit repeats 6 times in succession in this irrational number. Nat?
Pi.
Pi. It's called the... Spelling, vocabulary for both teams. Spell the 11-letter word beginning with C that means to support with evidence or confirm. Nat?
Corroborate.
Corroborate. Very good. History for both teams. When the United Nations Charter was ratified, who was the President of the United States? Stuart?
Truman.
It was Truman. Sports and games for both teams. The rugby union players from which country are referred to as the All Blacks? Charlie?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. We have a bit of a lead here. Shawnee Mission East 31, Blue Valley 16. U.S. government. What federal body has legal responsibility for conducting elections among employees to determine which, if any, union that they favor as their bargaining agent? National Labor Relations Board. That's what that is. Nat, you looked at me like I didn't know what I was reading. All right. History. Explorers is the next category. Under what flag did Magellan's ships sail? Avril?
Portugal.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Lancers, chance to steal this History Explorers question. Under Ian?
Spain.
It is Spain. Fine arts, music. Overtones whose frequencies are whole number multiples of the fundamental are pleasant to listen to. Joshua?
Harmonics.
Harmonics. Very good. Musicals. Which musical was a reworking of Puccini's Madame Butterfly? Joshua?
Hamilton.
It's not Hamilton. Lancers, chance to steal this musicals category. Which musical was a reworking of Puccini's Madame Butterfly? Nat?
The Drowsy Chaperone.
It's not The Drowsy Chaperone. Miss Saigon. Miss Saigon. Government and economics for both teams. Which country, as of 2015, which country had the largest economy in the world? Stuart?
China.
China. General knowledge for both teams. The production of what commodity was the chief resource of the Australian settlers in the 19th century? Ian?
Sheep, wool.
Very good. History for both teams. During World War II, the Nazis unsuccessfully besieged what Russian city for 3 years? Vince?
Stalingrad.
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that. Lancers, chance to steal this. Stuart?
Leningrad.
Leningrad, which is now St. Petersburg. U.S. geography, resources for both teams. Which U.S. region produces the most lumber? Avril?
The Pacific Northwest.
Very good. Music, composers. What 17-year-old composed the overture A Midsummer Night's Dream? Stuart?
Mozart.
I'm sorry, I cannot accept Mozart. Tigers, chance to steal this music and composer's question. What 17-year-old composed the overture to A Midsummer Night's Dream? Mendelssohn. Science, genetics. What is the name for differently paired genes for a particular trait? Joshua?
Heterozygous.
Heterozygous, very good. Science, another science question. What purine is a base of DNA and is found in another form in ATP? Joshua?
Adenine.
Adenine, very good. Fine arts, artists. Multiple choice. What contemporary painter is famous for his vivid portrayals of sporting events and sports figures? Is it Diebenkorn, Hopper, Neiman, or Stella? Kevin?
Stella?
It's not Stella. Answer is chance to steal. Brian?
The second one.
It's not the second one. It's actually Neiman. Actually Neiman. U.S. history, famous leaders for both teams. What Georgia city was Martin Luther King's birthplace? Avril?
Atlanta.
It is Atlanta. Literature for both teams. His Brook Farm experience was recalled in a fictional account entitled The Blithedale Romance in 1852. Ian?
Nathaniel Hawthorne.
It is Hawthorne. Nice job. U.S. government for both teams. Its name is actually an acronym because its purpose is to provide appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism. Stuart?
FBI.
Cannot accept that. Tigers, chance to steal this U.S. government question. Its name is actually an acronym because its purpose is to provide appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism. Identify this controversial anti-terrorism law. Joshua?
The Patriot Act.
It is the Patriot Act. That siren does denote the end of our championship game, and we have a final score of Shawnee Mission East 36 and Blue Valley 22. Stay tuned as we will give you our awards presentation coming up shortly. Congratulations, both teams, on an excellent season, an excellent playoff run. And I have for us our second place trophy, which I'm going to give to Coach Witten and her Blue Valley Tigers. Coach, if you'd like to say a few things to your team.
I just want to thank you guys for a great season, a great year, lots of fun van rides, and just great sportsmanship and knowledge. It's impressive to watch.
And congratulations to our tournament champion, Shawnee Mission East, and Coach Southwick. Congratulations, as I'm going to give you this trophy. If you'd, we'd welcome you to say a few words to your team.
First of all, congratulations, guys. Blue Valley, that was an excellent game. Man, what a year. I mean, we've had so many new players this year. We only had a couple returning people like Stuart. I've just been so impressed with what you guys have done. I'm really proud. Thank you so much for such a wonderful year.
This is the conclusion of our 2018-2019 category season and playoffs. Great job to all 10 teams that participated during this season. I'm very proud of being a part of this program, and you guys should be too. So tune in next year as we will continue to bring you the best and brightest minds of high school students all throughout Johnson County.